All right. So at least one of them got their names right, which is really helpful.
Yes. So Viktor from Russia,
Yes, absolutely.
and listed as inexpensive waterfall is Steve Rogers from Czech Republic.
Absolutely. And we can immediately
Wonderful.
see the bands already.
I can see the whole draft, by the way.
Oh, now I can
Oh,
too. Yes.
Yep.
yeah, I fast forwarded. Yeah.
So can I just check
Italians.
this
Wow.
has Viktor banned Teutons and Steve Rogers banned Aztecs, or is it the other way around?
Oh, it's like you said, and those,
Okay.
but those are global bans anyway, so neither of them can
Yeah,
pick
neither of
any
them
of
can
those
use
civs.
them.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, is there much of a reasoning behind banning those civs that you can think of?
Well, Aztec
Do they have a
is,
certain advantage?
yeah, Aztecs are generally considered to be the best 1v1 arena civ for like 20 years or so. And then Teutons are extremely strong as well, unless they're facing civs like Britons, Turks. But basically, all the rest of the civs Teutons can beat. So those are smart bans, in my opinion.
Okay. And looking at the civs that they've chosen, I'm looking at Steve Rogers' picks, and I have very little arena experience. I mainly play Arabia, and I'm looking at his civs, Slavs, Mines, and Britons in particular. They are very strong late game.
So yeah,
Is
so
that
one of the main differences between Arena and Arabia is that Arena is more positional, so there's not so many chances to raid your opponent.
yep?
Mobility is not as important. Like the civs that are strong in Arena are the civs that can form like a strong death ball in Imperial, or are very strong
Mm,
with fighting in one place. While on Arabia, it's good to like spread your army, use
mm,
mobility, etc. So, for example, Huns are great Arabia civ, but kind of a bad Arena civ, and Britons are actually very strong arena civ, but kind of average on Arabia. So that's the difference.
mm.
Anyway, I like the civs from Ovenka more. Well, I don't know. I don't like Mayans and I don't like Italians. I like all the rest of the civs, to be honest.
And why not Mines or Italians?
Well, Mayans are kind of like they struggle against onagers, and like if you have some melee unit and onager combo that just destroys Mayans. For example, Burmese can do a Rambai onager, Byzantines can do cataphracts. Although Mayans do beat Byzantines, and Incas also have egos, so I don't like Mayans that much. And
Mm,
Italians, I don't know. Italians are kind of weak in Imperial. They can have like very fast uptime. They can do some fast imp stuff, but other than that, they're not a really OP civ in my opinion.
And as someone I am quite new to the game in general. I don't know much about the civs. What kind of eco bonuses does Italians get?
Italians have cheaper advancing to the next age. So, for example, to go feudal age, you don't have to have 500 food, but only 460, I think.
Right.
And the same for castle and imperial. So you can have like if you went for a straight fast imperial build, right? You would
Mm,
be able to get it in 20 minutes or something like that.
mm.
Being hit imperial at 20 minutes. Although you don't normally do that in a 1v1, but it's an option. But
So
that yeah, go
so
ahead.
that would
Sorry.
be no, that's fine. So that would be 15% in general cheaper to the next ages. So as Modri said, it plays a big part. You know, when you're struggling with resources for any reason in any point of the game, this definitely helps a lot. That would
Oh,
be
so
one.
it's 425 then if it's
Yeah,
oh wait.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
15%. So yes. Other than that, we do see Malians, kind of a mixed bag here. Not the best in any specific way. What would you think, Modri?
Think I don't like Malians. I don't think you should pick them. All those four civs beat Malians, in my opinion. Byzantines, Burmese, Italians, and Incas. They all
Mm.
destroy. Malians used to be considered extremely strong, but I don't know. They're like mixed bag, or what's the expression? I don't know. They're good in many areas, but not
In
like the
specific
best in
area,
any of
right?
them. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. So So they are more for like chaotic maps, like Nomad or very open maps where you gotta do like 4 or 5 different units, and then Malians have like some small bonus for every unit. But on Arena, where you usually go for 1 or 2 power unit combo, it's not that strong.
So, Little Trouble, when you play Arabia, what's your favorite civ? Or what would you consider as a safer civ for you to play, or you would be happy to see for yourself? What would you think?
My favorite civs, in order, would be Franks first. I love playing Franks. Followed closely by Celts.
Okay.
After that, Aztecs and Japanese.
Oh, not
And they're
bad.
mainly my favorites because they're the ones I've played the most. They're the ones I'm most familiar with, and yeah, I've just got somewhat of an idea of the units that I can use and the bonuses that I get. So yeah, I enjoy playing them.
That's
I
great.
enjoy playing Goths. I hate playing against Goths, as most people
I
will
don't think
agree.
so anybody likes playing against gods.
Everybody hates playing against gods. Yeah.
But I
Any
love
map.
playing them. I love playing them, but yeah, every time my opponent is Goths, I'm like, oh my goodness.
You're just scared that they're gonna start spamming, and you're
And
I am. And I'm
even
a
if
bit of
you're
a pacifist of a player, so they generally do get to that point where they can spam, which is something I need to work on, but they're a fun civ.
So Ishfuini's asking in the chat for Modri, who do you think will win this in this opinion?
I think Ovenka will win, which would be Steve Rogers. That was his main name before. But I mean, I'm sure Dark will take one game. That's it's best of 5, right?
Best of 3. It's still not semifinals,
Okay,
right? So in semifinals, it will be best of 5. It could be close then. Or
2-1. I mean, depends on what civ he picks, actually. If Dark opens with Italians, he's screwed.
Yeah.
Let's see what he does.
So we have spectator delay at 20 seconds now, so we should be getting in the game at any point very, very soon. Hopefully, there are no issues with lag or anything. Dark sometimes does have issues.
It's been 20 seconds for a while now.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means that the game is paused or.
Yeah, he's messaging me. 1 second. Hi. Let's see. Is my map bugged or not? We can't see even get in game now.
Okay, at least 2 minutes.
Yeah. I can rejoin the lobby and see if that would help, but this is quite awful.
Well, have they paused the game?
Looks like that.
That's why we won't be able to get in. It's just stuck on 20 seconds left.
Yeah, but if there's a spec delay of 1:30 and you pause before 1:30 game time, then we can't
he said he has to cut trees to get his board, so I already told him in chat that just call Re. It's totally fine at that moment. As I said, this is a more of a private tournament. All players know each other, so we are really not trying to snag any cheap victories here. And talking about Gots,
so yeah. Oh, now the game launches for me.
And his map is bugged, so this we already can get out of this already.
Does that happen often? Because the game that I costed with you earlier, Wonder, that had, not that it was bugged, but walls walling in their deer and whatnot.
Yeah, this happens. So the way the map that they're currently using is a Titanic version 3 or 4, regardless. It's just the original 2013 version of Arena that was with the HD edition, the standard one that comes with Woobly as well. So it's the same exact version with just boars or 4 tiles closer to your TC, which means they would be inside your walls 90%. So there's not a big changes, but then this does happen in general. Even with the normal map, that sometimes you get 1 out of 10 games you may get one oddly bugged map. So this is why we have we just call it Re. It's taken care of. Modri, one game you missed with King Marv versus, I believe it was Yarkan. He was like a 1500 or 1600 ELO player, and King Marv decided to make it a little bit interesting for us. In the first game, he douched with Persians, and in the second game, he got Gots versus Malay, and guess what he did?
Siege Tower Castle drop.
No, he went full militia after booming for 5 TCs.
Oh wow. Well, but yeah, but that's actually a safe strategy against a lower. Did you see the legendary game from Jordan where he did that against a 2K player?
No, and I would love to see that. And is
Yeah,
the
I need
Uh,
to see
2K
that.
player still playing, or did he uninstall
that
game
was
after
a very
that?
long time ago. So 2K
Oh.
at that point in time was like 1700 of today probably.
Ah.
But it was an Arabia game, and Jordan was like in top shape. He was top 2 in the world at that time, maybe I don't know, 6 years ago, whatever.
Okay.
and and he was just spamming militia like straight from Dark Age. And the opponent was China, and he had a big hill, and he did like 2, 3 castles on the hill with chukos, and Jordan was just spamming militia whole game. He had KD like I don't know 100 to 1000, but he was
What?
on the side. Yeah, it was like. I mean, I was a noob back then when I watched the game, so it seemed a lot more amazing to me than probably would if I watched it now. But it was one of the most like
Crazy
embarrassing games
game.
I've ever seen.
All right, we're in the game, so I will let you start. Little Trouble. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, first I need to know who's looking after which player between the two of you. Between Steve Rogers and Vic.
So we
Uh,
have Steve Rogers in blue trunks on the right side of the map. I'll quickly describe his map and I'll let Modri take over Dark. So when we see the map, interesting map. Forward stone, one back gold, or kind of could be really, pressured over there, and outside gold and stone in one spot. This is not the best map for him. This is a very and no back base at all whatsoever. And he is Malians, which is least favorite civ as we talked about. So really, really not the best situation to be in. I'll let Motri continue with Dark.
yeah, so Dark has a very good map. He has basically everything safe against except one side stone, which is forward to the right side. But other than that, he also has 2 extra golds, 1 extra stone. I think that, and like if he was, let's say he was scout and he was facing, I don't know, some Portuguese or some civ like that, and Portuguese only chance would be to heavy rush, he could just run all his eco, in the back and make 1 gates there in that tiny choke and just boom there safely. Or and then come out in imp and win. But of course he's not going to do that in this matchup. But yeah, his map is much better.
And Mojo, what do you have to say about Burmese in this matchup?
Oh, sorry. Did you ask me or him? I didn't.
Modri, go ahead, Modri.
Yeah, no, you can go ahead. I don't mind.
Okay, so for me, Burmese is definitely a very strong civ, and the reason for that, a little trouble, is they're an exceptionally great monk civs. I wouldn't say they're better than Inca. I mean, sorry, better than Aztecs, but they're pretty good because their monk techs are literally half the cost, so you can get pretty much very, very great monk techs and pressure with lots of monks really hard and take the advantage. Then they also have great Arambai, which is a more like a wood and gold unit, so you can still get a better eco behind it when you're trying to boom. So overall, pretty decent civ. I think it's a great civ, but I wouldn't be too sure about the matchup in late game. You can definitely ask Modri about that.
Oh,
Yeah,
here's the
Mojo,
thing.
tell us about
Yeah,
Burmese.
I'll just talk about this particular matchup. So if this was like they're pretty close as we can see. So one option is always to go for classical all-in monk rush, and in that case, I would actually give advantage to the Malians, and that's heresy and Burmese do not. So if they went like 25 pop up or 23 pop up or whatever, 4 monasteries, full monks, at some point the Malians would be able to do heresy, which is a technology that makes the units that get converted die. So it's the most important technology in monk wars, and in that case Malians would actually have advantage, but I doubt they will do that because it's kind of not all in monk rushes these days on arena. So other than that, Burmese always have the option of going the unique unit, which would be a Rambai, which is a bit like Kongs, maybe a little bit weaker in terms of they're not as accurate, but they cost wood. So in this aspect they're better than conquistadors. But versus that, Malians can just go like monk defense and then faster up and maybe win the game with monks, Gebettos, and bombard cannons or something. So there are actually many options. It's not like a set matchup where you can expect exactly what's going to happen. It depends a lot on players' style and what strategies they.
And so, do you know much about these players and what their strategies could be?
Well, I've played a bunch of games with them, mostly team games. I think Ovenka is more of a like he's not specifically an arena player, so he might go more for boom strategies, take it to Imperial because that's probably where he's better at. And Dark is a bit more of a YOLO player. I think he likes to trush. He likes, I don't know, some forward weird strategies. I don't know much about him.
He's playing Arabia a whole lot lately. He was playing with Winchester, and I think he got pretty decent at Arabia as well. Winchester said he was playing a lot of Arabia. So yeah, you're absolutely right. When he played the game with YOLO, the first game he actually lost, I believe, and then he just switched to Arabia style. He trushed both games and won, and he did the very similar style crossbow towers, and then took map control and just really hurt the guy really hard and boom behind it. So you're right. He's kind of a YOLO player in that sense that he would trush and do stuff like that. But do you think we're gonna see a trush in this game?
Oh, I was just gonna say there will be no trush. They are already past the 21
exactly.
So no loom done, not enough food, nobody's trushing.
All right.
Which is good as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it could get a boring game to cast.
Boring.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And do you think Vic is going to take advantage of his Civ bonus, knowing where those relics are, and try and get them before Steve Rogers does?
I'm sure they will both go for relics. They absolutely should. So if one of the players does not go, that's kind of a mistake. Because they're both good monk civs, and relics are a nice bonus that helps you throughout the entire game.
And at what point generally do they go out to get them?
Anyway, Dark is going all in Monk Rush. As you can see, he clicked up 24 pop, so that means... Oh, and he has 3 on gold, so most likely he will go 3 monasteries, 1 siege workshop.
Right away when he gets to Castle Age. Instantly.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And good point out that yes, Burmese have this advantage that they can see all the relics, and if we give it a minute of relics, they're pretty balanced, I would say, right, Modri? Both have 2 relics on each side of the base, and then there's one in the middle.
Relics are completely fair this game, for sure. This is the good thing about... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I wasn't saying anything, go ahead.
Like, this is the good thing about Wololo Kingdoms, so that none of the relics actually spam inside walls on AOC. I don't know if you know that, but there were often situations where you would get 2, 3, or sometimes even 4 relics inside, and that was
oh
GG
my goodness.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one game I was Aztec and I got 4 relics inside.
Yeah, the game is broken at that point. And the way that works as Little Trouble is if you ever happen to check the directory of the game, there are actually 2 maps, arena maps, identical, just 2 in 2 different folders. And this is exactly what Modri pointed out. When you play the Wololo Kingdoms, it uses the newer map that I think came out in 2013, I believe. And if you play the original AOC version, it just uses the older map that was built in 1999. So a lot has been fixed in that perspective that, yeah, hopefully you don't get 4 relics in one base and make it unfair.
I know which one I'd prefer.
Hey, we should point out that the Malian player is going for Gebettos, so he's gonna castle drop and for unique unit defense against.
Ooh, do you think that would work, Modri?
Wouldn't work. Like with proper monk micro, you should convert those girls, but let's see what happens. I mean, depends also a lot on the lag. I don't think there's like Bike Dark sometimes lags. I don't know if it's his computer and in lag.
It's internet. It's his internet.
In lag, anything can happen with like versus monk micro wars. So.
Okay, so one big one big fight.
Scout.
Yeah, exactly. So no eyes for Dark. He will be smushing in the dark, just like his name.
Yes, and it's a lot worse that the monk player lost his scout because that would be his only melee unit, right? I mean melee, normal attacking unit, and like Malians is gonna have Gaberos anyway, so he can scout with those or kill Vils or Siege or whatever. But now
Mm.
the monk player doesn't know anything.
Absolutely, and little trouble. So the way, also for more reason, your scout is important is, if let's say the fight went the other way around, you can heal your scout back because you're the one going monasteries, right? At this case, he will not be able to do that, and you see, Steve Rogers already checking those vills so closely, and he knows they're coming out.
Mm. I would like to note also that Vic didn't get to scout all these stone and gold mines up the north, to the east of Steve Rogers' base. Do you think that was a
True.
missed opportunity?
Oh, but he did scout his back base, which is actually more important. I mean, it's not as important for the strategy that he's doing, but if he fails, he knows that he can always fall back and boom with all those numbers. So now here comes the forward castle, and this push is
Dead.
not dead. I mean, he can still take the relics.
Oh,
Oh,
tower.
Tower.
that's a mistake. That's bad.
Yeah. Oh, that's 125 stone.
Waste of stone. Look, he's not even gonna have.
But do you think he wants to protect other parts of his base with castle? Would that be probably an option he was thinking
Oh,
of?
but if you have the castle there, then like,
Yeah.
I mean, he has to make new buildings, right? The or actually he's the queen, right?
Oh, one villager down already. So he's gonna make a battering ram. He's gonna batter the part of that tower, and I think that tower will go down significantly fast, right?
Well, now
Yes.
Burmese knows that Malian is on stone, right? He knows
Yes.
because he didn't buy that tower. So he shouldn't add TCs, which is what he's gonna do right now.
He should add TCs. Is that what you meant?
He shouldn't. He shouldn't. He should go fast imp now.
Fast
Because
okay.
if Malian has a castle, then he won't have great eco. So
Mhm.
that means he can just transition with monks, traps, and kill him that way. But he's adding. Is he? No, he sent the Mongol. Just make a, well, eventually make a couple farms. With Burmese, it's very easy because you don't need food for anything.
Right.
You actually don't need food at all, only to make vills.
And we can actually see that he is absolutely zero economy on food. Like, he doesn't even have enough to... Well, he is going to the berries. I think that's his only idea, that he did find the second berries. And that's about it. So, no food eco whatsoever from Dark.
He's gonna be able to keep up vill production from what you see, but not...
Yeah. This is, as you mentioned, a full YOLO game, and we do see 3 monasteries already, with Sanctity and Redemption coming up soon. Maybe, Moji, you would like to talk about these techs, what they would do.
Sanctity improves increases the HP of the monks 30 to 45, so that's 50%. Buildings, and most importantly, siege.
Convert siege and buildings. So, do you think he's gonna convert the towers right over there?
But he should. He's waiting on it, yes. Because he's not ramming it, he's waiting to convert it.
Oh,
right
that
now.
monk took a little bit of shot over there.
Or maybe he forgot.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, like, the castle would kill the tower anyway, I think.
Well, true. Absolutely.
So how many monks generally would we be expecting to see if this is the strategy he's going with?
Well, it depends on what you're against. In this case, he should be pumping monks from 3 monasteries non-stop.
Non-stop. But the main question would be, once you do break that tower, how do you go in? If that castle was to get Fletching or Botkin, that opening would be gone.
But he would just walk past it, I think.
Yeah. Oh, first monk dead. He sees the castle, so let's look at his point of view. He sees the castle, he's gonna go right across the other side.
Hit another spot.
Yes.
And this is where the bad map of Anka comes into play. Like, this is actually the reason why going for this castle was not a good strategy, because in order to defend a monk rush with a castle, you need to have a map that is like has one choke in front, so basically one castle covers all
The
the
whole
entrances,
game,
right?
right?
But his map is too bad. Like he's open everywhere, so the monk Russian guy can just transition to another point of attack.
So we do see at least 6 Givados and 7-1 coming up. I don't think, in my opinion, that would really do anything against those many monks and even 3 Mangonels behind. What do you think?
Now that they have, now that he has redemption, I think he should just do Scorps, not Mangonels from this point on, because Shadows have extremely low HP, I think 30 only in Castle Age, and they are very fast, so they can out-micro the Mangonels, but it's harder to out-micro Scorps. Get attacked by crossbows, it's better to do. Also, Scorps are cheaper, so that means he will be able to click up to Imp faster, and so on and so on. I would
And
just
what do
go
we think this
Scorps.
barracks is for?
He's expecting light cav, but there are no light cav coming up.
Okay.
Ark should win this game. He's in a great position right now.
And light cav simply because they are very efficient at killing monks.
Watch out, watch out. Yeah.
Oh, that was a great engagement by Rogers over there, killing 3 Mangonels for 1 Givado, or 2 Givados, I would say. And that was about it.
This is what I meant. If he had 5 or 6 Scorps instead of those 3 Mangonels, he would win that fight, even without the monk, for sure.
Good, very good pointing out. We do see 8+1 range, no Botkin yet, no guard towers yet. Mollies do get guard towers. I think they even get keeps, right? If I wasn't wrong.
They do get keeps, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I've never seen Malian keeps before, but...
Yeah, that's why I don't know for sure. But the good thing is we can see is Rogers is on 3 TCs, and he did use the 3rd TC at the very outside because he knows he may end up losing this part of his base. Oh, that villager's gone.
Yeah, this is a bit of a misplay. Like I'll just say Dark scouted those market and blacksmith, and he should just send 3 monks. Big hit to Ovenka's eco if he loses a market because he's using it. Like that, you know, he doesn't see any scouts or light cav, so he doesn't have to be afraid of it. He can just go around, convert villas, houses, whatever. Just use those monks.
Yeah, basically go in a circle around the map. That's
exactly. Just
right.
do damage, right? That's why you have military, to do damage, not to
set around there, right? Absolutely.
And Rogers has got 2 relics now, from what I can see.
Oh,
and with all these monks,
yeah, that's a problem.
So it should be the other way around. If that's what you were getting to a little trouble. Good notice over there that the guy who is severely on monk should be the one at least trying to pick up the relics closest to the enemy, so they can't pick him, and he can take his time picking up the ones that are closer to his base. But in this case, Steve Rogers is doing the smarter move. He's picking up the relics slowly. He's getting his 3rd one in, which is quite odd for a guy who isn't smashing, and the guy who is.
Go around.
and that's been 5 dead mangoes.
Absolutely, for 0. With a ram as well, so I think Rogers is trading very well here. The pop difference is not a huge different villager lead. It is about 13 villagers, but I think this is only going to grow from this point onward.
Usually with Burmese, if you go monk rush and you see that you're not against monks, or even if you are, like it's not a monk war, right? It's something else, defensive castle, whatever. You should send the first 5 monks you create to the relic.
Ooh! Did you see that?
What is it, like 1 to 7?
Yeah, I lost count. It's that many.
Yeah, look at the KD, 215.
But he's still committing to the mangonels.
Got that he can also convert buildings. Like go and convert the market. There's a tower there, but so many monks, you can heal the 1 monk that's converting, right? So you can convert all that stuff. You can also convert the tower. Just send the monks around, 3 monks.
Yeah, at this point, if he doesn't do damage, so as Modri pointed out, like you do have an army. I mean, this is actually an army, even amongst these old guys that are standing there. It's actually a very dangerous army. But if he's not going to use this army, he's literally giving the other guys so much time to make. Like, I mean, look at this. The
Well,
Malian
it's 4
players.
TCs.
Yeah,
compared to
he's putting
one.
a fourth one there too because I mean, why not? I mean. And look at that scout is actually gonna do the damage to that villager right near the monastery. That's how important that one scout is, and I think he's gonna go for the mangonel as well.
And the monk. No.
Well, I think he's gonna suicide this. He should. There we go. Yeah.
So what Malians should do right now, if you check their eco, he has almost 700 gold. So what he should do is sell 200 stone, get heresy, then take a big fight with all the Geberos and win the game.
Oh.
This his go-to plan right now.
Another mango dead. Sorry, what is heresy? Remind me.
It means that units that get converted die, so you don't.
Yep.
So it basically makes fights against monks like 5 times easier.
Yeah.
You just patrol everything, and unless the monk guy has perfect micro to kill all of your units with his monks, he will lose that.
And the way a little bit on heresy, so I mean not even heresy, so the way monks work is every time one unit gets converted, remember they are gaining a unit. You're not only losing that unit, but you have to make another unit to kill that unit as well, right? So it backfires very badly. So heresy, as Motri pointed out, is extremely important and the most underrated, I think, technology that people forget in Monk Wars.
In this game, for sure.
Exactly.
Yesterday, I was watching Spring play Arena again.
Oh boy, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, he was playing against Fuat, Tom Yum guy.
Yes.
And both games he lost with Malians against pure monks, and both games he resigned with like 1.5k gold in the bank, but still heresy.
Yeah. Oh, there's a fight coming up. That's a lot of Geberos. So the mangonels are out of placement. Oh, I don't think that he can micro that fast, even without the heresy.
He will still win this fight, but it would be a total steamroll if he did heresy. But it's fine, by the way.
No, they called it GG right there. There you go.
Right. Look at the score, by the way.
It's double over.
Yeah.
Well, those poor monks, I think they got 5 conversions on those Gebetos. And one of the monks even died to the castle fire, but the rest had no chance.
37 for 13. That was a pretty insane micro from our Czech player over here. All right, so let's update the scoreboard really quickly. Alrighty. So let's see what we have next for the Civ draft. We're out of Burmese, we're out of Malians. We are left with Inca, Byzantine, and Italians versus possibly Slavs, Mayans, and Britons. So 2 heavy archer civs. Any idea?
Byzantines and
Dark
expects.
Yep.
Yeah, Dark expects Ovenka to go Slavs, so that's why he's not gonna go Incas. He's gonna go.
Byzantine. I see.
I may be completely wrong, but
you got to cut off over there for just a bit.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I'm predicting Byzantines versus Britons. That's my prediction.
Alrighty. What do you think, Little Trouble, if you were to pick over here? I mean, you imagine if you were in the losing seat over here and you knew you had to do something really aggressive to win at least the next game. Would you have a favorite pick over here, Byzantine, Incas, or Italians?
Probably Byzantines, but that's just my personal preference because I don't know much about the other civs that he's picked.
All right, maybe Modri can elaborate on the other civs, what they're for the viewers as well, what strengths and weaknesses both Inca and Italians would have.
Well, I've spoken about Italians a bit, so Incas are like the perfect counter civ. They have counter unit to every strong unit. Like they have which is their unique unit that counters all cavalry and basically all infantry almost.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have slingers, which also destroys infantry. Let's see what civs they picked. So
Ooh, you were right,
Byzantines versus
Byzantine.
Slavs.
But then we have Slavs instead of Britons. Oh, wow. Alrighty.
This is a very fair matchup, in my opinion. I would actually prefer to be Byzantines in this matchup.
A little
And why is that?
trouble. Yeah, go ahead.
Or why would you prefer Byzantines?
Well, let's look at the maps first. We'll discuss the strategies.
Yeah,
There,
yeah,
there are
sure,
many
sure. Do you want
options.
to explain your player's map?
Yeah, I'll explain the Steve Rogers map, which would be the Slav player, and his map is it's all right, actually pretty good. He has forward main gold, which is normally bad, but he has both other golds safely back. He has one extra gold way back to the right side. I mean, up, and he has some backspace where he can boom later on. He has stones in one spot, so actually, if Dark scouts that and Trush is there, I mean, he can't scout the main stone, which is inside, but he can scout the side stone and decide to trush from that point and just get lucky and cover both stones with the tower. That's what happens sometimes. So in that case, the blue player would be in some trouble if he was versus a trash. But other than that, I like his map. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wonder what about Vic's map?
Okay, so we do see a forwardish gold, forwardish stone. I mean, it that gold could be taken for a while if unless not pressured. Then we do see a gold on the left side of the map. If he was to wall that gate in the little forest with even houses or anything, he definitely could use that as part of his map. Then we do see a third forward gold, which is a little bit ahead with the boar outside as well. Look at his back map. He's really has a big back base. He could definitely boom pretty easily over there. Backstone as well, but obviously I would take Steve Rogers' map and his Civ for booming as well because he has one, two, three goals in the back, and he could still take the front goal until really pressured, right? So, not bad at all. Pretty, I would say, good map for Steve, an okay-ish map for Dark. But if he gets pressured, this is bad.
Yeah, absolutely. So much more favorable for Steve.
Yeah, but the Byzantines shouldn't expect to get pressured. It's more likely that the Slavs will try to boom and the Byzantines will try to do something.
All right, so maybe we can discuss a bit of strats. So Modri, what do you think would be the most optimal strats for Byzantine here? Since you said you would prefer Byzantine over here.
I would prefer Byzantines because I think they're extremely strong against all buffs are an infantry civ, much like Japanese, and that is because of the Byzantine unique unit, which is the elite Cataphracts.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite units. It's extremely overpowered in some situations. So the only problem here is obviously you can't just pure boom into Cataphracts. You have to do something before that because the Slav won't give you time to do that.
Sure.
So maybe you can open with like double monastery, a little bit of a monk rush, and then boom. Or you can even open at first with some hand cannons, bombard cannons, and then transition at us. I don't know. There are many different options. Basically, you need a very good map, which he doesn't exactly have. He has his he has a lot of space, but not enough resources in the back because cataphracts are extremely expensive.
Did you guys see the boar go back twice, and he had to lure him multiple times to get that? But it's fine. He does have a sheep under TC. He's gonna idle that boar under TC or not. He's actually gonna eat it right away. Okay.
And the main answer to elite cataphracts for Slavs would actually be the heavy scorps. And in the case of Slavs, they're cheaper too. So that's a great counter. And I think that's my opinion. In general, heavy scorp in Imperial is a very good counter to Byzantines because all their units have weak pierce armor. Like
exactly.
Alps, arbalest, hand cannons. Okay, skirms are not exactly
sure.
scorps. They will never go paladins because they can't. They don't have bloodlines, etc. So, and cataphracts also have weak pierce armor. So basically, if I was Slav, I would actually go for something like Cavalier Heavy Scorp combination. I know it sounds a bit weird, but actually I would go scouts at first. I would go Castle Age with the stable and blacksmith. Go get some scouts, take map control, upgrade them to light cap. If you see that the Byzantine goes
He's
heavy.
doing monks, right?
Yes. And then from that, you can smoothly transition to Cavaliers and Heavy Scorps and Siege Rams, and that will basically be my game plan.
Ooh, that villager surviving on 1 HP at the back of Steve Rogers' base, fighting that wolf. 1 HP for that brave woman
Oh
over
gosh.
there. Yep,
The
she's building a
hero.
lumber camp over there, and I would say, gotta give it, 1 HP was pretty close to 0 HP, which is dead.
I have noticed both players have lumber camps pretty far away from their TC.
hmm
Actually not Steve's first one, but definitely his second. Is there any advantage to having it around the back?
Oh, the reason for that is mostly that if you go into, like, if you expect your opponent maybe will do monks and maybe you will not fight for the map control and you will just stay inside, then he can come forward with monks and convert your stuff that is close to the walls, right? So that is usually, or if he
Okay.
trushes, like for example, with Blue's map, if he did a lumber camp on the left side, like beneath the mill, and he has
Yep.
both stones there and like the opponent would trash, then he would take him off that lumber camp. So it's
Mm.
it's better to walk like 20 seconds more with the villas or 10
hmm
seconds and have completely safe wood.
Yeah. And I've just
Also
seen
usually, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
sorry, just Steve Rogers going on stone at this point. In Arabia, very rare to see, two villies on stone in Dark Age. So does that
Yeah,
give us an indication of
so
what he's
what he's
doing?
gonna do, he's gonna do fast castle with selling 100 stone. As you can see, he's still on gold, but he's not gonna
Mhm.
build the
Mining
mining,
camp, yep.
which means he will have one, and then when she comes back, he will send her somewhere else. So he will have 110 gold, and the price to sell stone when you hit feudal is 91. So for 100 sold stone, you get 91 gold, which means he will end up with 201.
Gold. Absolutely. These are very small details, but they do help a lot. And I would think the reason for going on stone would be, well, either you can have a fourth TC normally in team game, or even if you had to defend with towers, if he's suspecting monk rush, that would help him, right, Modri?
Mm.
Yes, but the Byzantine player is going for fast imperial, which I really, really don't like. But let's see how he
And why
pulls
don't you
it.
like it?
Well, it's generally a weak strategy. It was a great strategy, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, but since then
Mm.
people learned how to counter it. So basically, a Civ like Slav with their farming bonus, he can just do, I don't know, 30 light calves and just,
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slav does not have heresy, but still, like their eco is so OP. By the time he
Mm.
actually makes that, so the problem with Fast Imperial is this: you don't get to kill opponent's economy, right? You will take some map control,
Yep.
you will take him off resources, but you will not be able to kill Vils. And then if the defender doesn't rush anything and just moves around, moves everywhere, keeps booming until he's like double or triple your pop, and then takes one big fight, you will always
You're
die.
dead.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So the reason why it worked in the past was because people panicked and they took bad fights all the time. And then when you take one or two bad fights, then the guy going fast imperial will convert your army, and then he will, with that army, he will cure your vills. So that was the key thing, and then he will get the advantage. So
One thing to note, the reason I agree with Modri on this fast temp is fast temps would work really great if you had a very close base, like literally 20 tiles, walls different. By the time he's literally gonna walk his wills to do a castle drop or monasteries or any, forward aggression. I mean, look at the distance between this. This is literally gonna be a marathon for his villagers, and by that time, every
scout anything
second.
either,
Sorry, go ahead.
and he didn't scout anything either. If you check
Yeah.
dark,
So he
scout
has no
where
idea how far his opponent is.
Yeah, so why
very
would he
bad.
not scout?
The
I
mistake.
don't know. Yeah, I really don't know.
It's just a mistake or a misplay at this point. I would say it really is a must
Okay.
to scout.
Like it versus Franks or somebody with more HP on scout. He should. take the scout fight if he needs it. Maybe he's afraid that he will lose his scout, and like in the previous game, and he's just staying at home.
Yeah. Yeah, but Steve can see all 5 relics, which are, again, from what I can gather, fairly evenly placed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Relics are.
pretty much.
So he knows where every relic is, and Dark's got no clue.
Oh, both games the relics have been like so far apart. This is like maximum distance for the monks to get. Like you can get 5 relics in a short period of time. This will take like 5-10 minutes to get all 5.
Yeah.
One small detail to point out, like if Dark did scout Steve Rogers' map, he would potentially see 1 gold in kind of front in Castle Age, and what he would quickly be able to realize, and now this is specifically to Arena, that each player has definitely 3 golds. 1 would be definitely inside, that would be the main, and the other 2 could be inside or outside. So if you don't see any 2 other golds outside, what does that indicate? That they are inside his map, and they're definitely more safer than being outside. So he's not going to run out of gold anytime soon. Not scouting that is basically telling yourself, okay, I'm gonna do all in, and I have no idea if this guy has all back resources and an amazing map, and he will just boom and kill me. So I think this is a very important thing. Scouting should definitely be done by Dark at this point.
Okay, he's going to scout his opponent, and he will see, oh my god.
Exactly. When he does scout, he will be like, yep, this guy has everything inside. Every single thing inside. And now he's also probably saying, where is this guy? I don't even see his base because, yep.
1 tile off.
Absolutely. Oh boy. Like, this is really, really, like, I would panic at this point, seeing that I don't even know where my opponent is.
At the first hit, though. Okay, now he sees the gates. There
I would go in. Like, I would go in. Oh, there he is. The reason I would go in is just to see what I'm dealing with here, and now he's gonna be very depressed after noticing. Oh, please don't run into the TC. Please don't run into the TC.
Oh no.
Oh boy. All right, so he sees the. Please scout as much as you can. Okay, so castle is right there. Just built it. Nice house placement. Nice.
Anyone 10. That's all right.
There we go, scout set. So by this, now he can kind of assume, like, he didn't scout the very left or right side of the map, but I think it's safe to assume for him to know that, all right, my guy has a really good map, and he's kind of already walling, you know, like a wall near his TC kind of thing, and not the most happiest place to be, right, Modri?
I'm looking at the eco upgrades that he did, and he actually did.
You got cut off again? Say that again, please.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the eco upgrades that he did. He did horse color, which is a mistake because he seeded all those farms in Dark Age, and he's not expected to seed anymore. So that's like a waste of resources. And also he did bow saw, which, with considering how few resources he's got, I wouldn't do that either. So that's slowing him down even more. I don't know, like, and he did gold upgrade too late. Like, gold upgrade should be the first upgrade you click when you hit feudal, because you're gonna be buying everything all the time. So gold will go fast, and you need to, as you can see, he has like most of his eco on gold. But those are just minor details. It's not gonna change the game.
True. So if you check the scouting point of view from both players, Vic Dark has just seen Rogers' base, while Steve Rogers pretty much knows the entire map. So if he has to move out, which he won't need to in this situation, he still knows where all the map is, and he should be able to, you know, have a better idea what to do. And we do see a fourth town center as well. What do you think about that, Modri?
Where is it?
Right next to the gold.
Oh,
or
right.
Steve. Yep.
Yeah, I don't like this. I mean, I don't like the placement. It's, I mean, he's not. He should start, yeah, build a barracks and start doing light cav. I don't think he's gonna be able to produce from like 4 stables and 4 TCs at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, it's not a big deal. Maybe if he would make it outside, like just in case TC, in case he loses his base, which is not gonna happen, but that will make sense. But to make it right where next to his second one, it doesn't make much sense to me.
So there's 4 monks coming out of Vic's base at the moment.
Yep.
Are they aiming to get relics?
Okay, so
or
the upgrades. So the upgrades, little trouble. Black printings means that the monks have +3 range. So as you can see, if you click on the monk, he has 9.
Yep.
Yeah, 9 + 3. And theocracy means that if all the monks, I mean, if many monks convert 1 unit at the same time, only one will lose
Yeah.
its conversion points. And illumination
Which is pretty
means
OP,
that
right?
yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah,
That's those are
absolutely.
the most important monk technologies in Imperial. And the illumination means that after the monk converts a unit, he will regain his mana 50% faster. So that's
Yep.
the third most important one, and the others are not as important. So that's basically the 3 things you always research in Imperial.
Absolutely. So at this point, we do see a forward castle placed right away. I think that's just to buy himself time, if I'm assuming, while he masses with 4 stable scouts over there, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, and he should send 1 monk to the wall, so he would scout that castle, and then the trap would start hitting the castle, not the wall.
Right away.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So a little
And now
mistake over there.
Now he needs to buy pikemen upgrade and do pikemen. Like stop monks, just do full pikemen from 2-3 barracks, and that's your only hope. Which is what he's going to do, I think.
Yeah, he already has second barracks coming up, so he kind of knows or expects defense by light cav, and I think that's what it will be. So basically, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Steve Rogers is gonna try to fight this out in Castle Age.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, for sure. That was also a mistake that sometimes players did to go Imperial themselves. No, just stay in Castle Age. As you can see, he already has more than double the vills. So as long as he doesn't lose vills and doesn't lose army, he's gonna get more and more ahead. So he doesn't have to take a fight before he absolutely 100% knows that he's gonna win that fight. That's
right.
He's in no rush. Like the Imperial guy is in a rush to do damage, and the booming guy is in no rush.
Right. And the reason for that little trouble, obviously, as you can see, the villager difference. So that 40 extra wills that are more than 40 extra wills that are sitting there in Roger's base, they're contributing to his economy and potentially a larger army. So this is why Dark cannot catch up anytime in economy anytime soon. So he needs to do the damage like right away ASAP before he gets run over by just sheer brute force of other person economy.
He can see the spears now. The blue player can see that the red guy has spears, which means that. But like Dark is doing redemption right now, he should do pikemen. That's a lot more important. It's extremely important to get pikemen. Maybe if he can even afford halbs, that could win him the game. Maybe, but just spearmen is not gonna be enough, because the bonus they get versus cavalry gets, I don't know, from +4 to +13 to +27 or something like that.
Absolutely. So you don't even need the attack upgrades at that point, right? Just
attack upgrades are useless. Yeah, you just do defense upgrades if you need upgrades, but most important is to upgrade to the unit to the next tier. Yeah.
And if you look closely at the spectator overlay, 21 military for Steve Roy. So those are 21 light cavs. Do you think those are enough? I doubt that, to be honest. He needs a bit more than that.
Not nearly enough.
Yeah.
Especially without heresy. He needs to have
50. Right?
Double the army, exactly. So when he has double the military, he should take a fight. Of course, he doesn't know exactly how many he has, how many the opponent has, but that's like the general approximation.
Right. Because pikeman is coming in. That is quite a... I hope, a little trouble, you're not bored or falling asleep, since it is 2 a.m. in Australia,
No, not at all. It is almost, yes. But no, I'm a little quiet because I'm really, really interested in the insight that you guys are giving. So forgive me if I'm a little bit quiet, but you guys are saying some really interesting stuff to me. There is a 50
go ahead.
by the way.
Really?
50. Yep.
Oh, I missed that. Good catch. It's coming right
What?
outside. A fifth
What?
TC from Steve Rogers on the
Oh,
left side.
yeah, that's the same TC I was talking about. In case everything goes to
Yeah.
hell,
Yeah, he says one over.
yeah, he has a
Which,
TC.
mind you, it is now TC number 4, seen as.
Oh,
Okay,
he's
here we
taking the
go,
fight.
here we
He's
go.
taking the fight. Not a, in my opinion, that's not a good fight.
Perhaps get back. Okay, I think. Nah, what is he doing? Where are the pikes going? Look at the. Oh my god.
Oh my god. They want to get the
Okay.
villagers over there instead of the. Oh, that's over. That is so over.
Yeah. But it was inevitable. Like, he might even win this fight. No, he's not gonna win it.
But if he used those pikemen properly and grouped every monk together, he could have actually won. Because they would heal each other so fast for Byzantine, but he completely had his pikemen out of position so bad. And now even the villagers are getting in on those traps, right? Oh, man.
Yeah, and since Byzantine pikemen are so cheap, as you can see, the score is only 1k apart,
Yep.
right? And that's
Oh.
because the light cap costs 80 food, and Byzantine pikes basically cost nothing. So the way the game calculates the score is like you get the score of the cost of the unit you kill. So
Mhm.
he killed all those spikes, but that didn't give him much score. Even though he has doubled the pop and he's like completely winning, the Byzantine guy thinks that game is still close.
Well, here's the issue I do see. Look at the resource difference. So Dark is sitting at 150 gold. He can barely make any more monks, which are gonna get picked up, I guess, right now while they're moving one by
Now
one.
it's time to do skirms. Now
Yeah.
it's time to switch to skirms. He could
Yeah.
switch before even when he saw spears, but whatever. So now he needs skirms and like keep increasing the villager difference.
Yeah, I think this is pretty over in my opinion. I don't think so. Dark would have a big chance from this point, simply because the monks that came out also died, and he has 90 gold, and he cannot really make more without.
Kill anything, right? With those spikes, he can kill light cap, but he can't kill vills. He can't kill buildings. He can't kill. He has one ram now. Okay, he can go for the mill. It's already burning.
Well, the pikes do 4 damage while to the villagers, while villagers have 1 armor, so they're doing like 3 damage all the time, which is really not much.
The vills can just garrison in TCs and then pikes.
Or even fight it out. I mean, look at the difference. 116 wills to what? 15 pikes. I think they can just start fighting at this point. It's not gonna be a big issue, I think. Yeah, this is. I mean, Vic is trying, but once those spears come out, skirmishers come out, I think this is pretty deal to deal at that point. One thing to notice, Steve Rogers does not have stone, so he can't get a castle up anytime soon. While
but he just needs to go imp and go for siege rams and hit
his base.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and there comes the skirms, by the way, as you can see.
Yeah. And skirms also have bonus versus spikes, so they're actually a great counter to pikemen. That's something
now
that maybe,
elite.
yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yep, and monks are now useless because they will one-shot monk. It doesn't matter if one of them gets converted or not. It's not a good price point trade. And there is another batch of light cap coming up too. That would be your melee to kill those rams. And I really wanted to see a 3rd game, but I have my hopes here.
But you did have 1/3 game yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? Right?
Yeah, it was between YOLO and Vic actually. Dark actually won.
Whole tournament, that was the only series.
That was the only game, and I was really happy about that. That we actually got one. What I wish we had seen more, but that was kind of it. That was just one.
Well, if it's best of 5, I think it's a lot more likely, not only mathematically, but also in terms of, like, if a guy is up 2-0, then he might slacken up a bit, do something like a funny strat or something. But if it's 1-0, and he knows if he loses this game because he trolled, then
He has to
he's
try
gonna
hard.
be right? Yeah, so they try hard in game 2 as well, every game, the better player.
Yes. And we will have best of 5 in the next game, which would be semifinals and finals. Oh, by the way, GG call.
Yeah.
We will have a quick interview from the players if they're able to join. Just 1 second, let me message them. One second. Hello, Dynamite. Come for
Hello.
interview for a minute, please. I will drag you in the casting room. Okay.
What?
I'll add you in the other room for a quick interview. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'll stay here.
All right, Steve.
Hello.
Hello, Steve. Let's start
Hello.
with you first, Steve, and then I will call Dynamite for interview as well. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. 1 second. I will drag you to the other room. All right, we have Steve with us over here, and Steve, welcome and congratulations on your game. I'll let Little Trouble start with a few questions, and Modri will also ask you a few questions.
Wonder. Stop it. You're not.
Oh shit! All right, Steve, congratulations. I will let
Thank you.
Little Trouble start with some questions, followed by Modri.
Well, GG, well played. I said this when I was casting an earlier game, but I'm very much an arena noob. I want to know kind of what your game plan going into these matches were. I'd love for you to explain your Civ picks as well for me if you could.
Well, so for Civ pick, I I picked mostly anti-monks Civs because he likes to monk rush. Also, he likes to trash. So I think all of these Civs could defend it well, especially like Slavs or Malians.
Yeah, I think it
And
worked out really well for you.
I'm sorry, and you knew he was gonna monk rush when he banned Teutons, right?
Yeah, that was really bad one for him, I think, because I don't know how to monk crash.
Oh, but I mean,
So
Teutons.
what's
I'm sorry, Teutons would be perfect to defend a monk rush, right? So that's why he banned it, I think.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, also against trash it would be good, but I
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't thinking I would pick Teutons. Because I think they are way too much defensive.
And I've been told that Aztecs is one of the, or if not the strongest arena Civ. Does he pick Aztecs generally? Is that why you wanted to ban it?
I don't know if he picked, but I don't like playing versus Aztecs because he can fail his strat, but he can still win just cause of Aztecs.
Because they're a strong civilization. Sure. And how often have you two played together? It sounds like you know his strategy somewhat well.
Well, I watch some of his games, 1v1, and also I know him from team games, where he
Sure.
sometimes tries some crazy strats. But I knew I should win if I defend well.
Yeah, which you did. Well played.
Go
I
ahead,
have a
Modri.
That's all I've got for now.
I have
Yeah.
a question for Wonder. Were Aztecs picked in any? I mean, were they not banned in any series this
I
tournament?
think they were banned in every single series. I can't say about the one that was done
Yeah.
with King Mar versus the lower yellow guy. I'm not quite sure if anybody bothered any banning. It was quite an odd pick. But yeah, in all the other games, I think Aztecs were banned.
You might have an entire arena tournament without Aztecs.
I don't want to see that. I do want to see Aztec played at some point, but when I'm gonna play as well versus YOLO, that will be the one sim I'm gonna ban right away. That's probably what's gonna happen because those monks can get up to 95 HP, and then they're just stupid. They're just stupid. Even light cap cannot kill them. Absolutely not. That's just gonna stand there and take it all day long.
You have to play a perfect game versus Aztecs if you're not Aztecs, basically.
You played a perfect game with Aztec. Well said. Well said. Well said. All right. Alrighty. I can drag Dynamite. Dark right here with us, and we can continue. Just one moment. All right, welcome, Dark. Well played.
Not so well played.
Oh, I think it was pretty decent. We'll have a little trouble start, and then followed by Modri.
Hi, Doc. Well played. All I really want to ask about is I thought they were both really good games from both of you. I am very new to watching arena games, and for both games, from my noob perspective at least, at the start it was looking pretty strong for you. You looked like you were really confident in what you were doing. I think in the first game when those actually there were quite a lot of mangonels out in Steve Rogers' base, and I think he lost quite a lot to maybe 2 or even 3 of his. And then
Yes.
it was like the extra hit with the Gebettos coming in. What was going through your mind at that point, and did you have a backup plan when that happened?
No, that was just a big mistake that cost the game. That I lost so many mangonels.
And was that just, do you think, a lack of your mango micro, or just trying to balance everything between aggression and maintaining your eco?
Just he migrates so well. Like he killed 2 mangonels with 1.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
I lost some mangonels at the castle, if I'm not wrong. No, that was bad.
Well, I was rather lucky then. Good micro.
What
And
you can...
and
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're right. I was just going to ask about your civ picks as well, Doc. Why did you choose those particular civs?
I want Monk Rush or Fast Imp. I choose Byzantines and Italians to go Fast Imp like I did, and Burmese for Monk Rush. So I thought like I need to go aggressive against Steve because he plays macro well.
Mm-hmm. Do
Yeah,
you want it to
awesome.
win
Anything from you,
early?
Mitch?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I don't.
No, that was me just saying I'm done.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to play Trash because I think he prepared for this.
He actually did mention that he was suspecting both Trush and Smushes, so he was kind of prepared for both. And I don't think you did a bad job at all. It's just unfortunate that the micro didn't go down as planned, and I'm pretty sure Modri will have a few questions as well. Go ahead, Modri.
Oh yeah, why you didn't scout your opponent when you were doing your fast team with Byzantines? Just in your base with the scout the whole Dark Age and Feudal Age. Kind of funny.
Don't know.
Were you surprised when you saw how far he is? Like, if he's really far, then it's really hard to do anything with Fast Imperial.
Maybe I should fast imp with Monastery and Siege Workshop and go Castle later. What do you say? Like Castle
Well,
aggressive.
if you're so far away, I don't think you can pull off a Fast Imperial. It just like it takes forever to get to his base, and then he can always mass so many light calf. I think you should just boom for elite cataphracts, to be honest, in that matchup, and that can work versus Slavs pretty well, actually. Especially since Ovenka is also a boomer, he's not gonna rush you or anything. That's what I would do, but it depends on style and.
Any more questions?
Not really, not for me. Modri in a little trouble. I guess. Do you have any more
Hello.
questions?
Yeah, I think I'm cutting off, right? Am
You
I
got to
cutting
cut off. Yes, you got cut off a little bit there, Modri.
I didn't hear anything for like 30 seconds, but you all left, and then I checked, and yeah.
No, we're all here. If you have any more questions, go ahead, Modri.
Okay, games, and we'll see you next time, right?
Absolutely. It was wonderful. You guys played. It was very entertaining, and I would like to special thanks to Modri and Little Trouble for joining me. It was a very great insight from both of you, and how we casted all this thing. It was really, really entertaining for me, and I hope it was for everybody else. These games will continue. Obviously, we have quite a few more since this is double elimination. We will see you very shortly. We have more games coming today as well. But I guess for a little trouble, that would be it, because it is past 2 a.m. in Australia. Really, thank you
Yes.
so much for staying up this whole time.
It
Really.
was very much worth it. I really, really enjoyed these games. Doc and Steve Rogers, they were really, really fun for me to watch. And thank you guys for inviting me to cast. I learnt a lot, and it really makes me want to play Arena more. I actually
great.
played a game, an Arena game, and I won.
Oh, really?
so,
Amazing!
yeah.
Welcome to the dark side. I mean, to the
Yeah, I know,
bright
look what
side.
you've
Oh,
well, I'll
perfect.
take you guys on in Arena any day. I mean,
Perfect.
Arabia, not Arena.
Oh boy, for sure. Well, thank you, everybody. I will stop the stream now, and we will see you very shortly again. And have a great, wonderful day or night for you, Little Trouble.
Thank you very much,
GG,
guys.
bye-bye.
Bye bye.
GG, bye bye.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.